So a lot of nope, we're good. So a lot of people at Dallas see, then we just keep doing it until we get the take right. You get what I'm saying? All right. So, full disclosure, I did this topic, I believe, at Anime Dallas 2011. No, 2011 is way too long ago. I did this at Anime Dallas 2021. And I actually brought that sign with me. Where is it? Right here. I've done this one before. I just never did the video because I was actually replaced by an evil clone for 8 months. And I thought after a year had passed, it's going to be irrelevant. And then I also thought after the trailer comes out, it'll be irrelevant. Because once we hear all of this, we'll be able to get that kind of anger born out of uncertainty out of our system. Yeah, I know. Bad casting happens all the time, but we usually can't judge that fact until after we've seen the performance. Which brings us to Mario and his impending movie do-over. I say impending unless it takes me like 5 years to do this video or you're watching this sometime in the future, in which case it's not impending, it's already happened. But it's not about what I think, at least not yet. What did this passing year do to people's opinions? Well, for the first time, I took the exact same sign to 2 different conventions. This time I was at Dallas Fan Festival 2022. In most ways, it was similar on the votes, as well as some of the arguments.
So when it comes to Chris Pratt playing Mario, okay, his Italian accent has to be good enough that I can believe that this is Mario. He's from New York, Brooklyn area, it's a lot of Italian people. So if he can do that, I'll take it. If he can't do that, and it just sounds like Star-Lord speaking to me through Mario, then I'm not gonna like it. I'm not gonna like it at all. Also, Seth Rogen as Donkey Kong. What were you smoking? Okay, that's all I've got to say.
Chris Pratt playing Mario will be the funniest thing I have ever seen in my entire life. Nothing else can compare. Thank you.
All right, Chris Pratt is not going to be a fine Mario. This was a terrible casting decision. Charles Martinet is right there, who's been voicing Mario for as long as he's had a voice. And this was a missed opportunity that was taken away from a talented voice actor to give away to a name, and that's whack. Chris Pratt isn't even his son's favorite superhero.
I'm kind of baffled about this one, honestly. I've seen fans get preemptively mad about casting before. I mean, if I had to think of some examples, remember Robert Pattinson as Batman? Or Ben Affleck as Batman? Or Michael Keaton as Batman? A year later, and people were madder than ever. And to some degree, I get it. Mario is a beloved media icon, top tier of all time. You gotta treat him with some kind of care. But I don't think any one person should be disqualified from the privilege of portraying him.
I don't know if I believe in Chris Pratt's range, honestly, so I'm gonna have to go with the disagree. Yeah.
All right, cool. Do we have any more?
Anybody else?
Italy.
All right, cool. Cool, we're just gonna go, let's just bury a whole country. Anybody else?
I disagree. Not just because I don't think he'll sound like Charles Martinet. That's not really a thing. I am a dedicated fan of Super Mario Bros. Super Show. I understand that, with a Brooklyn accent, Mario can work and Chris Pratt would work. My problem is that I doubt that we'll get to see him do the Mario. If we don't get a complete recreation of the Do the Mario dance at the end of that movie, I'm gonna riot.
The majority of complaints fell into 2 categories. The first, that someone else would be a better casting choice, which is fair enough. I've dream-casted projects in my life. Some people actually offered up alternatives like Danny DeVito or Josh Gad or Jonah Hill. But most people brought up the fact that Mario already has a voice actor. The same voice actor for nearly 30 years, in fact. Lots of people contended that Charles Martinet is the only one that could ever play Mario. Also, for the first time ever, I got to make this a family affair, as my wife and my daughter both came with me and participated in the project. And that was very special for me, especially for little Ems, because she's always wanted to be a part of this. No, she hasn't. She really doesn't care either way. But it looks like she's having fun, right?
So just go ahead and start?
Whatever you have.
All right, so Chris Pratt, I don't think will be a good Mario just because I think that he only has one role, Every role he ever did is always the same kind of guy. He's just not a real good actor, in my opinion, where he could change, because it's always the same voice, same facial expression. It's not really much that he could do differently. There you go.
Thank you for your honest data. Well, no, you're good. What you got?
I'm gonna put on the thing.
Absolutely, yeah. Read carefully before voting. Comment section is on the back.
And what the heck? It's not the first time you sounded like that.
Thank you for your honest data. The number one gripe people have for the casting stems from Mario's distinctive Italian accent, which he's had since Martinet took up the role. The disagrees know what Mario should sound like, and this ain't it.
I'm just doing this to play devil's advocate. Because for all the people saying he won't be, watch him do it. And then you're all gonna be looking stupid. Y'all all gonna be looking stupid.
Thank you for your honest data.
You will make a fine Mario.
Would I mark you down for an agree?
Yes, I agree.
All right, cool. And there we go. Thank you for your honest data. I like watching you work it out. I like someone who's giving it a lot of thought. If there was a third major reason, it's because the disagrees just straight up don't like Chris Pratt. I never asked any follow-up questions as to why. I honestly didn't want to make somebody justify that kind of dislike. I got a lot of people who were like, I don't want to be a hater, but hate. Both times the agrees won, at Anime Dallas and at Dallas Fan Festival. But I will admit, this time it was a lot closer.
To all those who are Chris Pratt fans, I must tell you, the fact he is not Italian, but then again, he does have the charisma and the moxie of a fine stallion, I would say he will make one fine of a hell Mario. They better make sure they give him the nicest, bushiest, damnest nice mustache in all the 9 realms. This is
animated movie.
Animated movies, video game adaptations have done poorly. But I have to say to this has been Doomla from Twitch.tv signing off, going back to this man holding the sign. Back to you, sir.
Spazzo. I'm Spazzo.
Can Chris Pratt do a great Italian accent, though?
Can Chris Pratt do a great Italian accent? So here's what's funny. Mario is ethnically Italian, but he's actually from Brooklyn, New York.
Interesting.
That's confirmed by Miyamoto. He was asked in an interview, where is he from? He's from Brooklyn, New York. If you are old like I am, you remember when Lou Albano or Bob Hoskins played Mario in the Super Mario Bros. Movie. They did Brooklyn accents. They didn't do Italian accents. It wasn't until Martinet took over that he became, but this has come up a lot, the Italian thing, right? And I refer to the creator of Sonic the Hedgehog when asked about why he was upset that Sonic looked like a real hedgehog in the movie. And what he said was, Mario, Sonic, Mickey Mouse, all these characters, they aren't actual people. They're fairies. They are not meant to be biologically what they are. So Italian or not, effectively, no. Mario is ethnically Italian, but he's not from Italy. Where the feeling is getting lost, ultimately, is that we are suddenly voicing a voiceless character. Mario, for as everlasting as he is effectively a blank slate. He has one characteristic. He's heroic. He has to be heroic. Otherwise, the player can't portray him. But everything else is up to the player, up to the audience as to what Mario should and should not be, what Mario should and should not sound like. He is the prototypical silent protagonist that's famed among all of video games, the thing that Nintendo does the best. Whether it's Mario, or Link, or Samus, or Ness, and countless others that I can't think of off the top of my head, you apply the traits to these characters. And for that reason, any portrayal that does not tick the boxes that you created as a player, as a fan, as a consumer, is going to sound off for a lot of reasons. Luigi is in fact the more defined character. So it would effectively be more challenging to play Luigi, because while Mario is simply a heroic mime, Luigi is a lovable coward. He has dialogue in a lot of games. He is insecure about being in his brother's shadow. That I feel like would be a more challenging portrayal, and yet I don't think anyone's terribly concerned about that. It's also important to point out that Luigi is also played by Charles Martinet. I'm surprised it hasn't come up at all. But if I'm being honest, while it's always great learning about how people feel, I can't say I was exposed to any compelling arguments against this side. It was a lot of data, but not a lot of surprises. And that's both years. Any takers? I was barely able to get upstairs, find this nice quiet place for myself. I'm about to go cause more trouble. I wouldn't call it trouble. I don't think what I do causes trouble. I picked the absolute worst spot to shoot this. Because that backlight is blasting me. We need honest data. Man, we never even made it to the Maid Cafe.